He is him. Brock Purdy remained relevant ever since he got his chance with the 49ers. He is the best recent story in the NFL. His life is full of challenges and life lessons. He's a fascinating man with a great attitude. Let me tell you the story of Brock Purdy. Brock Richard Purdy was born on December 27, 1999 in Queen Creek, Arizona. He grew up in a family where sports were a way of life. His father, Sean, played minor league baseball for Miami. His older sister, Whitney, played softball, and his younger brother, Chuba Purdy, plays quarterback for Nebraska. But Brock's parents didn't force him to play any sports in particular. Instead, they asked only one thing of him: to give it his all. And it was this relentless work ethic that helped propel Brock to success. His competitive education manifested itself in the choice of his high school. He chose Perry High over Queen Creek High, located in his Arizona neighborhood. Perry didn't have a great record and was playing in a higher division. Purdy went there to excel and make history. When Brock Purdy arrived at Perry High, the head coach Preston Jones quickly saw that he had a special quarterback on his team. Coach Jones liked to provide books to his players to aid in their personal growth. And one of his favorites is Mindset, the New Psychology of Success. However, Coach Jones never gave this book to Purdy because he thought he had the right mindset already. After a rough sophomore season where he split time at quarterback and threw more interceptions than touchdowns, Purdy was struck with mononucleosis, which caused him to miss the first 3 games of his junior year. That season, he amassed over 3,300 passing yards, 42 touchdown passes, and 6 rushing touchdowns, leading Perry to the 6A semifinals for the first time in its history. Despite his impressive junior season, college coaches were hesitant to recruit Purdy as a future major college quarterback. However, he didn't let that discourage him. During his senior season, he added 20 pounds to his 6'1" frame and looked sharper than ever. He set the 6A season records for passing yards and touchdown passes. He led the Pumas to their first 6A final. Although they ultimately lost, Purdy's impressive performance on the field had caught the attention of major college programs like Boise State, Alabama, Iowa State, Illinois, and others like Texas A&M. It was the first time he had quickly jumped from something of an afterthought to center stage. Purdy was then considered a 3-star prospect. When he talked to Iowa State coach Matt Campbell for the first time, their recruiting call lasted an hour instead of the usual 10 minutes. During his visit to Iowa State, Purdy was greeted by chants of "We want Brock" from the students at a basketball game. And that's when Brock Purdy knew that Iowa State was the perfect fit for him. Iowa State didn't have the glitz of some of the other schools recruiting him, but that was part of its appeal to Purdy, who viewed it as a place where he could build something. Purdy entered his freshman year as the 3rd string to Kyle Kempt and Zeb Nolan. Then he became the starter after Kempt was injured and Nolan was ineffective. He got his first game action as a true freshman against Oklahoma State. Purdy rolled up more than 300 yards and 4 touchdowns with 1 interception and scored on the ground, coming in relief in a 48-42 win. His first season, he started 8 games, completing 146 of 220 passes for 2,250 yards, 16 touchdowns for what would prove to be a career-best 169 passer rating, and compiling a 7-2 record for the Cyclones. As a sophomore, Purdy started all 13 games and led the Cyclones to a 7-6 record. One of the most memorable games of his career came against Jalen Hurts and the Oklahoma Sooners, where Purdy put on an incredible display of skill and leadership. Trailing 42-21 to Oklahoma going into the final quarter, Purdy rallied the Cyclones, who ultimately lost 42-41. Although the Cyclones lost this game, Purdy's performance was simply incredible. In his junior year, Purdy took a backseat as running back Breece Hall emerged as a star. They had a 9-3 record and reached the Fiesta Bowl, where Purdy passed and rushed for a touchdown in a 34-17 win over Oregon. In his 2021 senior year, Purdy and Hall again led the Cyclones to a 7-6 winning record. The season was something of a disappointment, but Purdy again led the Big 12 in completion percentage and passing yards. He ended his time at Iowa State with a 31-20 record in his 4 years with the Cyclones. He was the 3-time All-Big 12 quarterback, and he holds 32 school records, including career pass attempts, completions, yards, and both passing and total touchdowns. Purdy's 4 years at Iowa State corresponded with the first time the school's football program had seen 4 consecutive winning seasons since 1923-1927. Despite his impressive achievements at Iowa State, Purdy faced criticism for his lack of elite physical traits during the NFL Combine. He posted a 480 40-yard dash and 27-inch vertical jump, which led to one NFL team expressing no interest in him as a prospect. Leading up to the NFL draft in April, Purdy believed he could be picked as early as the 4th round or potentially go undrafted. On draft day, 8 quarterbacks and 261 players were selected ahead of him. Purdy was ultimately selected as the last pick in the draft, earning the famous title of Mr. Irrelevant.
With the 262nd pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Brock Purdy, a quarterback from Iowa State. Go Niners!
Well, there you go.
While some analysts criticized the pick, the San Francisco 49ers saw something special in him.
Yeah, I've always believed that I don't care like what slot, what round, what pick, that I get picked or if I was undrafted. My whole thing was, man, I just want to go out and prove to myself that, I can play at this level. And so that's always been my mentality.
The team was impressed by his great college career, extensive experience, and unrelenting work ethic. At the start of training camp, the team's plan for Purdy was to have him on the practice squad, but his determination and hard work during the preseason didn't go unnoticed. His great performance, completing 61% of his passes and tossing 1 touchdown, earned him the third-string job. But no one expected that Purdy's chance to shine would come sooner than expected. Trey Lance, Kyle Shanahan's original choice as the franchise quarterback, started the first 2 games and was lost for the season with a broken leg in week 2. Enters Jimmy Garoppolo, the veteran who, despite leading the team to a Super Bowl 3 years ago, was seemingly unwanted by the franchise, which grudgingly brought him back for 2022 as an insurance backup. Garoppolo played well and saved the team's season, going 7-3 as the starter. But fate intervened once again, and in December, Garoppolo broke his foot in the first quarter against the Dolphins. And this is when Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, rookie out of Iowa State, enters the scene. This was Purdy's chance to prove himself, and he did not disappoint. Brock was ready. In his first significant action of the year, Purdy led the 49ers to an impressive 33-17 victory over the playoff-bound Miami Dolphins. He threw for 210 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. But this was just the beginning. He followed that up with perhaps his best game of the year against Tampa Bay, where he completed a season-high 76% of his passes and tossed 2 touchdowns to beat Tom Brady and the Bucs.
They're chanting Purdy, by the way. Brock Purdy chants in Santa Clara.
I feel like I'm in a scene of Rudy.
With each game, he grew in confidence, his hard work and dedication paying off as he led the 49ers to victory after victory. It wasn't just his physical abilities that set him apart. Purdy's high football IQ and ability to run the complex NFL offense impressed his coaches and teammates alike. He understood the importance of taking what the defense gave him rather than trying to force the ball into tight coverage, which is often seen in young quarterbacks. His athleticism and poise in the pocket were also very impressive, allowing him to make quick decisions and avoid pressure. And when he threw the ball, his accuracy was unparalleled, consistently hitting his receivers in stride, allowing them to gain yards after catch. His quickness, mobility, and toughness have made him an ideal player for Shanahan's offense. Overall, during the regular season, Purdy completed 67% of his passes while throwing 13 touchdowns and just 4 interceptions. But it wasn't just during the regular season that Purdy shined. In the playoffs, he continued to excel, securing his 6th win as a starter against the Seattle Seahawks, and he led the 49ers to a 2nd playoff win in the divisional round against the Dallas Cowboys. For Purdy's journey to continue like a Hollywood script, he must face quarterback Jalen Hurts again, who dominated him with Oklahoma 3 years earlier. A win in Philadelphia would send Purdy home for Super Bowl 57. The Eagles started the game with the ball and scored on their first drive. Now is the time for Brock Purdy to shine.
Formidable defense as there is across the entire league.
A lot of fake pressure coming. Purdy, Dak floating in the air. It is! Is it picked? No.
And after starting a drive where he completed 4 passes, he was sacked by Hassan Reddick, who caused a fumble on the same play. It's on this terrible action that Purdy suffered a right elbow injury, and he couldn't throw for the rest of the game. He was replaced by Josh Johnson, who became the fourth quarterback to play for the team this season. But Johnson suffered a concussion in the third quarter, which forced Purdy to finish the game. The 49ers lost 7-31. Purdy was later diagnosed with a torn UCL in his elbow, leaving him unable to throw the ball for the next 6 months. Purdy's rise was the result of unfortunate circumstances, but his tenacity, hard work, and talent have led him to become a respected quarterback from whom much more is expected. There has never been a Mr. Irrelevant who suddenly became relevant like Brock Purdy. He's proving that there is more than height, weight, arm strength to those metrics NFL scouts use in predicting success and failure. The possibilities for Purdy seem limitless after what he's done since replacing Garoppolo as the starting quarterback. However, the question now is, can Purdy be the long-term answer at quarterback for the 49ers? Or is he destined for the bench next season? While there's no doubt Purdy had a terrific year, the questions around his future with the 49ers have just begun. This is a big mystery as Trey Lance will be healthy in 2023 and the team has invested a ton in the former number 3 overall pick. My guess is the team will have Purdy and Lance battle it out for the starting job in training camp next season and that Purdy ends up winning the job. If you're still here, thank you very much. I really hope you enjoyed this story. If you did, make sure to like the video. Every like helps the channel grow. If you're new to this channel, please be sure to subscribe because I'll be making more videos like this. Take care, c'était le Golden Coq. Salut!